Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We've got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also on the YouTube channel under The Mike Wagner Show. Also Anchor FM, Radio Public. Also on iTunes, Apple, and Google Play. Also TheMikeWagnerShow.com. And you can also take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with a wonderful lady from the Chicago area, freelance journalist, author, lead publicist for Laura Orrico PR. A new book called the Time Capsule Journal, which she began at the age of 17, now 28. Also editor-in-chief for The Tidbit, which is an entertainment lifestyle magazine featuring a number of celebrities, and also appeared in American Genius, Fan Fest, and The Roosevelts. I mean, she's got the print all over the place. It's like, you tell her to write, and she'll turn it into magic. And also features a also considered a prominent woman journalist by Arianna Huffington. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Chicago area, just writing away, writing as we speak. Of course, you can do more than once while talking right at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Leddin. Taylor, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Anytime. So you're a freelance journalist, author, lead publicist for Laura Orrico. Did I get that right, or is it Orrico?
It's Orrico, yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, so,
yep.
All right, so Laura Orrico PR, new book called The Time Capsule Journal, which you began at the age of 17, and you have it out 11 years later. You're also editor-in-chief of The Tidbit, entertainment lifestyle magazine, and you also were featured as a prominent woman journalist by Arianna Huffington, and you just have a lot going on right now. And before we get into all that, tell us how you got started.
Well, I got started, I kind of go back to being a kid, and I would always just carry something around with me to write lists in, or ideas that I had, and just any little thing that popped into my mind. It wasn't even so much journaling, it was just more doodling with words, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so, I never really minded writing in school, writing essays or anything like that. That never bothered me. While my friends were complaining about writing, I always just kind of enjoyed it. And that continued into joining the school paper and the yearbook and all that fun stuff. Into college, same thing. And it never felt like work to me. It was just always something I enjoyed, and it felt so natural to be creating stories out of words and helping others share their stories through writing. So that's kind of the little bit of the journey, and I found that I could be doing freelance writing from, a remote space. I could be writing for something based in Austin, out of Chicago, and get to have a lot of cool opportunities that way. So I've been very fortunate in getting to try my wield my pen at a few different things, if you will.
That sounds amazing too. And you're the lead publicist for Laura Orrico Public Relations out of the Chicago area. So how did you get involved in the organization itself?
Well, Laura and I actually met through a mutual friend, and she told me about her company and what she was doing and all the amazing things she was doing for her clients. And I had gone to school for interpersonal communications and always just had an interest in media and communication in general. And when I heard her story, I was very interested in learning more. So I reached out to her a few days after we met and asked if she would be available for me to shadow her, or if she was looking for an intern, and just so I could kind of learn more about what she was doing. And that became an internship, which eventually became a job. And now I've been with her for about 2.5 years, and things are going really great. So we have a lot of fun clients and get to do a lot of really cool things.
That's amazing too. And who do you consider best clients as well too to work with?
The best clients to work with?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. We don't specialize in anything specific. We like to try and keep it open to a variety of industries, which is a lot of fun. And so we get to work with entertainers and musicians, and then very prominent legal organizations, authors, politicians. So everything kind of, you learn something different from each client that in turn kind of helps with another client. So it's really hard to say the best to work with. My heart is always with entertainment and pop culture. So I get the biggest kick out of that kind of stuff. But all of our clients have been so great, and it's very exciting to help them get to where they want to be in terms of publicity. So it's been a really cool ride so far.
Yeah, that was amazing. And who do you consider favorite entertainers and writers as well, too, or even performers growing up?
Oh, gosh. I've always been a big fan of John Travolta. He's probably my number one in terms of idols. That's a good question. I love Cameron Crowe. He's my favorite director, and he's a great writer. So I really look to him for his trajectory of his career. I find that to be pretty inspirational. There are so many. I could go on and on all day about the different people that have inspired me, but pop culture is a huge inspiration for me, and that's a lot of what the tidbit focuses on. Is it kind of angles specifically towards entertainment in Chicago, but it's also pretty broad, and I like to have also a nostalgic focus where if I'm interviewing someone who's been around for a while about a new project they work on, I always try to throw in a little question about something from back in the day to kind of pull it back to where we first met them as an entertainer. So I like that aspect of it a lot.
That sounds amazing too. And of course, I was going to throw in there too, who would be the ideal client for you? It's like, who would I like to have as a big name? You mentioned the ones like John Travolta and others, and maybe who'd be like considered one of the ultimates.
He would definitely be an ultimate for me. I'd really like to work with any big name that's doing something on a philanthropic side. I think that would be a lot of fun and just a good way to channel our resources together and do some good for the community and that sort of thing. So, I would have to say Travolta would be my number one choice, but there's so many.
and I'm sure you can have a lot of time with that as well too, with your growing career. We'll talk about your time with the tidbit, also your encounter with Arianna Huffington, and also your new book, First of all, you listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, and also iTunes, Apple, and Google. And you can also take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel today. We're here with freelance journalist, author, lead publicist for Laura Orrico, public relations in Chicago. She's got a new book called The Time Capsule Journal, which began at the age of 17 and just now being released 11 years later. Also editor-in-chief of The Tidbit, Entertainment Lifestyle magazine. Also features a prominent woman in journalism by Arianna Huffington. And let's talk about The Tidbit for just a minute and tell us how you got involved with that.
So The Tidbit is something that's kind of been working in my brain for a long time. I've always wanted to have some sort of magazine or online version of a magazine that I could create myself and come up with the content for this. And like I was talking about earlier, kind of skew it towards not just pop culture, but nostalgic pop culture. And I've written a lot for different websites and different magazines, and some of them having an entertainment angle to them. And I ultimately decided that I wanted to finally have my own. So it was last summer that I created The Tidbit and threw it out to the world, and it's been a great project since then. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've had a lot of great opportunities to interview some really interesting people, and I just get a kick out of being able to share that with people. And you know, if even just one person reads it and enjoys it, that's enough for me. So it's been really fun so far.
That is amazing too. And of course, you also feature Tony Danza, Melora Hardin, Don Stark, Keith Coogan. You can just tell us about some of the celebrities and also others who appear in The Tidbit.
Yeah, so I kind of am able to use my knowledge as a publicist and help that with my journalism and how to reach out to the publicity for these celebrities. It's completely separate from my role as a publicist, but I learn things from both a publicist and a journalist that kind of help each role that I'm a part of. And so, I just kind of keep an eye on what's going on with the people that I've always had an interest in and try and get some time to grab their ear for a second and get them to share some stuff with me that I can turn into hopefully a unique kind of take on what it is they're working on. And certainly talking with Tony Danza was a big deal for me because I've always loved Who's the Boss, and so he's been one of my favorites since I was a kid. And so talking with him was very exciting, and I always try and get some sort of advice or something inspirational from whoever it is I'm speaking to, so that the person who goes to read it has some sort of takeaway from it aside from simply being entertained.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing too. And I was going to mention Tony Danza was also in Taxi as well too. And
yes.
And of course, I think that was the show that got a lot of great actors off the ground. Tony Danza. You had Danny DeVito, and I think you also had I'm trying to think of the comedian who passed away. Who was it? Andy. Oh gosh, what was his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Andy, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Andy, oh my gosh, it's like Andy Kaufman, that's the name of it. And I think, I'm trying to remember, there was a lady in there too, Rhea Perlman. I think there was
Rhea Perlman, yeah.
Yes.
She went on to do Cheers, and then Christopher Lloyd was on it too.
Mm-hmm. And I think that just really got off the ground as well too. And just also curiosity, since we talk about Taxi, how much did he talk about Taxi?
I don't think that really came up. I asked him just one question about who's the boss, and then the rest of it was about a Netflix show he was working on at the time, and then a traveling concert series he was doing. And so he made reference to who's the boss just in saying that working on this new show was as much time as he spent in front of the camera since Who's the Boss. But I don't think he mentioned Taxi.
Mm-hmm. But that's amazing as well, too, and how you can get some people on that. You're also featured as a prominent woman in journalism by Arianna Huffington. So how'd you come across Arianna?
Well, she is obviously the editor of Huffington Post, and then as well as Thrive Global, which is, a relative publication of Huffington Post, or HuffPost now. And they do a lot of great features on people in a bevy of different industries. And I found out that they were looking for some advice from female journalists. And so I sent in some information and some 2 cents that I had, and I was lucky enough to be picked. And so I was glad to be able to share some of my experience up until that point with such a big publication. That was really a great honor. And it was just very cool.
Mm-hmm. That sounds amazing, too. And we'll get to your book, The Time Capsule, in just a minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, and iTunes, Apple, and Google Play. You can also take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel today. We're here with freelance journalist, author, lead publicist for Laura Orrico Public Relations in Chicago area, Taylor Leddin. She's got a new book called The Time Capsule Journal, which she began at the age of 17. And let's have you talk about the book, especially how you got started.
Yeah, so the Time Capsule Journal is a very interactive journal for the reader. The concept of it is that there are prompts on the left and right side of each of the pages in the book, and you go through and you answer the left side now, and then you put the book away for a few years, and then you come back to it and answer a similar question and kind of see how your answers have changed, and take a look at how you've maybe changed as a person and how you've progressed. And so it's really to get you to think about yourself and express yourself through writing. And the way it started, that wasn't the intention when I was starting it just for myself. I kept a journal in high school that I had daily entries of what was going on, but I also had pictures in there and movie stubs and just a lot of random stuff that was happening at that time. And I was about ready to graduate from high school, and I thought, you know what, it would be really cool if I filled this entire thing up, put it away for 10 years, and just didn't look at it until then. And so I did that. I put it in a shoebox, and I put do not open until my birthday of 2020, so that'll be 2.5 years from now I'll get to look at it, and so that'll be 10 years from when I graduated high school.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I haven't looked at it. I've also thrown other stuff, mailers, random stuff inside the shoebox that I haven't looked at since then. And so it's something to look forward to and kind of see where I was at that point in my life and how I've changed. And from there, I would do that every so often. I did the same thing towards the end of college, and then maybe every year and a half since then I've been making different ones. And then I started telling the idea to my friends and encouraging them to do it. And then I eventually thought, you know what, why don't I make an outline for anyone who's interested to do it? Because my friends were saying, oh, I like this idea, but I just don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what catapulted me into creating this, as something that, people can get a jumping off point from. And there's blank pages in the book as well, so that they can do literally whatever they want. And I keep joking that that's the best part of the book, is what they want to put into it. So, yeah, it's fun. There's no rules to it other than you have to put it away for a little while. There's no set time on that. I think the longer the better, because there's more that could change in between now and 10 years versus now and a year. So yeah, that's basically the concept of it, and it's been getting a lot of really good feedback, and I'm very excited about it.
Very nice. And this sounds almost like a how-to book, where it's like, it can be like a guidebook for anything, like, say, where were you on this day? It's like you just like write something down, or take like a ticket stub, or say take like a business card, piece of paper, maybe something you wrote on a Post-it note, or maybe a picture or anything, and all you do is you just throw that in there and just make a note, say, do not look at it until about 3 years from now. They can just come up with a question of some sort, and they can answer it 3 years. It sounds more like a how-to book, where it's created by the person, whoever bought the book.
Exactly, yeah. So there's that aspect to it, and then there's also sort of an accountability thing, where there's questions such as, pretend like today is New Year's and set a resolution for yourself. What is it? And then on the future page, it's, did you stick to your resolution? If not, why? Make a new resolution. So it's something that you kind of, when you're doing it initially, you're like, okay, I'm going to have to look back at this and face the consequences of my self-judgment if I don't stick to this resolution. So there is that accountability factor in it, but other ones are simply just, what happened on this day, and, it could just be any boring old Tuesday, but sometimes that's the most fun to look back on and think, oh yeah, I remember that. So
what are some of the things that you actually put into your journal?
Oh gosh. From what I remember, I did a section of the journal that was, each page was a different bucket list item that I wanted to try, and I made like little Photoshop pictures of my face on a skydiver because I wanted to skydive, and publish a book was one of them. And so I will go back through and see what I've been able to accomplish. Things like that. There were daily entries that I would put in there, pictures, different quotes. I had a friend write me a letter in there and then cover it up with, I'm pretty sure she put Starburst wrappers over it and taped it over it so I couldn't read it. And I don't know what it says, and I won't know until I go back to open it. So I have that to look forward to. So something in there that I literally have never read. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, just a Mod Podge of different different things.
Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry for Starburst already too.
Right? That does sound good.
Mm-hmm. And also too, based on the feedback that you get from people that have bought your journal as well too, where they create their own, what was some of the feedback they got? Like say, we went over the most common, like, the story of the day, the headlines, and, what you did on this day, sat around the house, drank coffee, played with your cat and everything. What are some of the most unusual that have people had mentioned to you about, like, when they did the journal, like, what's like the most unusual, or maybe like a most unusual section?
Well, I think the funniest reaction I've gotten so far is my grandpa got a copy, and he said, oh, some of these prompts could get you into trouble. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he's like, well, this one says write about the best day of your life. He's like, what if I don't write down my wedding day or the day my kids were born? What if I write down something else?
That's a given. That's a given.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's boring. Think past that. But I said, you know what? This is just for you to look at. So it's up to you if you ever want to share it with anybody. So hopefully you won't get yourself into trouble. But yeah, I tried my best to keep it as eclectic as possible, to where it's not so much sectioned off into different categories. It's just kind of whatever popped into my head, which is kind of how I've made mine in the past. And so it'll go from something that's like, oh, what's the last movie you went to see? Who did you see it with? Yada, yada, yada. And then the next one will be the thing about a resolution. And then just a crazy scatter of ideas.
And of course, you could also encourage other people too. And what are some of the other suggestions that has never been brought up?
That's a good question. The thing, it's so hard to answer something like, because you can just do whatever you want with it. And that's such a cool concept, but it's also a little bit intimidating at the same time. Mm-hmm. But I like the idea of writing down. I like doing mini goals, so not so much something like I want to climb Mount Everest. It's one of mine is I want to play with a Saint Bernard because I've never seen one in person. Like something, very little that means something to you and may not make some sense to somebody else, but that's the whole point of this, is that it's for the reader, or for, in this case, I guess the writer, because they're really writing the book. I just kind of gave them the stepping stones.
You kind of gave them the platform as well, too. And when you started the Time Capsule Journal, was there anything that was similar to it, or did you feel that you're kind of like one of the first to come out with this kind, or maybe you had somehow revolutionized it?
From what I've seen, I did do some research on it to make sure I wasn't, beating a dead horse or copying somebody without realizing it, thinking I had this, great idea that was all my own. But from what I found, there are some kind of similar things out there, but it's more of like a time capsule journal that a parent creates during their baby's first year, and then they give it to them when they're 18 or something like that, which is also a very cool idea. Mm-hmm. So this is more less, I don't want to say less purpose driven, but less, it's just more open to anybody than a parent doing it for a child kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that people who would enjoy it will be able to find it and get a kick out of it, and that it brings them some sort of relaxation of creativity, because that's something that's been so important in my life, is just having little creative projects to do and things to look back on and reflect on. So I'm excited to share it with people.
I think that's amazing. I think I'm ready to get the book as well, too. And before we get to how you get the Time Capsule Journal, now, speaking of time capsule, like, say, I think of time travel, everything I think of time capsules as well, too. If you were to choose an era in time, throughout history, what era or what year would you go back in?
Oh, man. There's a lot of good answers to that question. But I think that I would have to say sometime in the 70s, because I'm a huge fan of 70s music. Mm-hmm. And so to be able to go to those original concerts of the original 4 members of Led Zeppelin before John Bonham passed away.
Oh my gosh, that was sad.
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw his son recently perform, and he was great. But to be able to see the things that I cherish so much now, to be able to see them as they were being created, I think that I I would get a big kick out of that.
Mm-hmm. That was amazing, too. And I remember 1980 was supposed to be the year they were come to Chicago and play at Chicago Stadium. And I remember being in business class where it's like this guy was going on collecting money and they said, hey, well, I'll go see Led Zeppelin. Give me some money, I'll get tickets. He was trying to get like a huge group to go to Chicago Stadium. And then when he was ready to get the tickets, he found out maybe 2 days later that John Bonham passed away. And everybody's like, oh, crap.
Oh, no.
And
Did
it was
they get
like,
their money back?
well, we all did, but some were like, yeah, just keep it. Maybe send it to a Bonham family for funeral expenses or just go buy Led Zeppelin albums, just have like a little party itself. But I remember I remember he talked about Led Zeppelin. I says, oh my gosh, it's like I had the money ready to go. And he's like, you know what? Just found out John Bonham died. I'm like, oh, crap. Everybody was just in tears, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But I think that would be amazing, too, just to start a Time Capsule Journal like in the 70s and think about it that, some of it could be worth money as well, too, like, say, ticket stubs or, anything like with the Beatles, maybe like, John Lennon's guitar pick or Paul McCartney's pencil or, Ringo Starr's tissue when he was sick, or even like George Harrison's maybe razor or something. So
oh my gosh, yeah, people would spend ridiculous amounts of money on that today.
yeah, just don't encourage it with the Time Capsule Journal. And speaking of the Time Capsule Journal, where can people purchase a book?
So it's available on Amazon you could simply search the Time Capsule Journal, or you can search Taylor Leddin and it'll pop up. So it's up there.
Okay, great. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career, since we have a couple minutes?
Oh man, so many people. There's like a montage running through my head of so many people. I'm going to answer that with a blanketed statement. I'm fortunate to have so many great friends and family in my life, all who inspire me in their own ways without even realizing it, and people who encourage me to keep pushing at my random creative endeavors. My grandpa's a big cheerleader for that, and I love being able to share those things with him. And so, yeah, just very blessed to have so many great people that inspire me every day.
That's amazing, too. What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Best advice, just write stuff down. Write stuff, even if you think it's the most trivial thing in the world, write it down. It might mean something completely different to you later on that could alter your life in hopefully a good way. But yeah, just try and do that, and it helps you stay a little bit more present. And this sounds so cliche, but do something good for other people, be kind to other people. That's part of the Time Capsule Journal as well. There's a prompt in there that encourages you to pay it forward and come up with an idea to do that, and then write down how you did that. So I encourage anybody listening to do a little something to pay it forward today.
And I think that sounds really straightforward as well, too, and the best advice there is. And just want to say, Taylor, it's a big honor to have you on the show. Thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. And once again, before we let you go, we know you're very busy lady. You're probably writing all kinds of stuff down at the same time over coffee, and I'm sure it's okay. Every time you give me answers, I ask, you're always writing. That's good. But unfortunately, I can't see it, but that's okay, though. What are your upcoming projects? What's your website? How do people contact you? And once again, how do people purchase your book?
Sure, yeah. My personal website with all of my writing information and career information is taylorleddin.com, and then the tidbit is thetidbit.online, and then I'm on all social media as Taylor Leddin. You can find me there and reach out to me, and the book is available on Amazon.
That is great. Taylor, just want to say a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. You give me a lot of creative ideas, and also looking to purchase the book. Maybe I'll cheat a little bit. I have like so many movie stubs, ticket stubs, and sports memorabilia and everything, but of course, that's me, of course. So I'll go out and get the book, and just want to say a big thank you again. Looking forward to having you on again soon, and please do me a favor, Keep us up to date.
Thank you so much, Mike. This was so fun.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. Also, become a sponsor of the program and or donate today at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Mike Wagner Show.